We're on. You see the little record button?
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome to Saints on Cinema. I am Tim Wild, and with me, as usually, is Josh and Ashley. And joining us is a very special Christmas episode, Molly. I was trying to think of something like Holly and Christmas. I got nothing. So anyway, Molly, who is a friend of the show, who came back and did our discussion on Mulan, had some thoughts to share with us. We wanted to feature her in tonight's episode where we're going to discuss a follow-up from our homework from last episode where we talked about Alf, the Christmas Special. Make sure you have it upside down. The picture's not very Christmassy, but whatever. And then we're going to have Molly give us, as a special guest, her top 7 Christmas movies, which I don't know what's on the list, but I'm sure after forcing her family to watch Alf, I'm sure Alf's Christmas Special shot above all the other movies and is number 1. Is that right?
I mean, it is on the Mount Rushmore right next to White Christmas, Miracle on 34th Street, and It's a Wonderful Life. So,
correct.
Tim's Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
I said Mount Rushmore of holiday magic moments. I didn't say Christmas movies.
Oh, that's different.
And I stand by that. But anyway, so let's just start. We're going to follow up talking about Alf. Did anyone else have anything else they saw this last week that was important enough to talk about before we get into Alf?
I just want to point out that I am wearing a Hawk Hauling t-shirt coming from Sylvester Stallone's Over the Top. And I'm very disappointed that neither of my co-hosts have seen Over the Top. So if we're gonna be divvying out homework, I think I got a homework assignment at the end of this.
We have plenty of confessional episodes ahead of us. I could feel it. Yeah. Good job. All right, Ashley, did you watch anything exciting this weekend or this week that you want to talk about? Nothing. No, Josh.
Oh, I did watch an honorable mention of mine. I watched Jingle All the Way. Still holds up. Very good.
Holds up as trash.
You're talking about trash. It's a good movie. It's fun.
It's not a good movie.
It's not on the top 7, but it's a good honorable mention. I watch it every year.
Have you seen?
I mean, it's no Alvin and Chipmunks where you cry when we cry. Pull the golden harmonica down, I mean, it's not one of those, but it's a pretty good one.
All right. No, it's not. I saw that like the year it came out. That came out right before Phantom Menace came out because Lloyd, or what's his name? Lloyd, the kid that played Anakin Skywalker was the main character. You've seen Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. You're awesome. And then Jake Lloyd's his name, but he was in it, and that's why I was excited to watch the movie because this was Anakin, and I thought it was gonna be really good, really intense. I see some amazing acting, and it was a terrible movie. I never went back and rewatched it.
That's a good movie.
Cute.
Yeah, it's fun.
Tonight on Netflix, I was browsing, and they have a new on their series of the whatever that made us. They have the toys that made us, and then the films that made us.
Yeah, the Elf
new one of the Christmas or holiday movies or whatever.
Yeah.
And we have Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas, which is, if Netflix puts it out there as a Christmas movie, that's the definitive decision and label that it is a holiday movie.
I would say it is a holiday movie. I agree. I don't particularly fancy it. I don't understand why everybody likes it so much. But I've actually watched. You brought that up. I actually did watch the Elf.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too.
A lot of interesting stuff on there. Didn't know.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I was sad there was only 2 options on there because last year they had, when they first did that, Home Alone was on there. And I was like, just put it in that collection or something. Hey, I don't know why they had to do their own show. They should have just done another season of the original.
I don't like how they do that. Like they come out with one of these, the toys that made us or whatever, and then there's like 3 episodes. And you're like, oh, great, okay. And then 2 of them are like Barbie or something, where you don't even... So
they're good. Barbie and the Hello Kitty that didn't captivate your interest.
He-Man was cool. He-Man and Ninja Turtles. So
They were awesome. They were all really good. I even watched the Star Trek one that I didn't care about. Did you watch the wrestling one, you freak?
Yeah, of course I did.
Of course you did. I didn't watch that one because who cares? I mean, you. That's it.
Yeah, me and lots of other people who go to WrestleMania every single year.
There's like 10 tickets they get into those stadiums, right? 10, 50
yeah,
people.
I would just say whatever, 100,000 people, 10 to 12 people, whatever.
You know what they should do is they should enable people to pay money to watch it in their home, to view it there, and then they could probably reach out to a wider audience. They should consider that. You need to go tell
maybe Vince McMahon should start that pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they could even start their own type of Netflix version where you pay a certain amount of money per month and then you can watch all of it all the time.
Oh, like a streaming thing that has like an entire catalog and library of the old ones?
Yeah, like we would call it like the WWE Network or something.
Yeah.
$9.99, available now. Go check it out.
Yeah, it's standing for who would not? Because who would not want to watch that?
Yeah, no one. Nobody.
Mommy's like, that's great.
So this last week, okay, you want to talk about interesting things I watched? I had to work from home due to some fears of COVID wreaking havoc in my house. Nobody has it, but there was a scare, and so I had to work from home all week. And so while I was working from home, I popped on WWE Network and watched some of the old 80s wrestling shows, and man, they were so much better than the wrestling now. They were great. Everybody's yelling all crazy. They're like, oh, let me tell you something, brother. And they're like shaking all over the place. And it's just awesome. Oh, these guys, they come up and they got big old mohawks and face paint. Road Warriors come out. And they're not even like really wrestling. They just go and beat people up and then leave. And it's like the Road Warriors against like Joe and Stan, and then Joe and Stan get destroyed. It's fantastic. God,
and not to mention the absolutely amazing effects of like dissolving to screens.
Yeah. Set to like 80s video game music. It's fantastic. Good times. Good times. Mm-hmm. So anyway, maybe we should. Let's go talk about something more interesting, like the Alf Christmas Special. Let's talk about Alf now. I'm sure our viewers are really excited to hear about this gem from the 80s.
All right. Well, let's get a little context here. So last week we did our conversation. Actually, can't handle it. Our conversation about our favorite, just a discussion about, well, Ashley didn't have much to contribute. Apparently she doesn't have the holiday spirit when she watches TV-only movies. But we talked about our Christmas specials that we liked and talked about some of our favorites. And my favorite, I think I mentioned favorite. If I didn't, I should have, is you threw it on the floor.
Oh, yes, I did.
The Alf, this is the series, but the Alf Christmas Special. Now, before I get to Molly's thoughts about it, what I said was Alf has, in the Alf Christmas Special, and I guess we're going to end up having a little bit of spoilers. We're going to do a full-on review of it, unless Josh is going to counter everything I say that's positive about it. It's just a magical movie. What'd you say?
Get ready.
Yeah. Not movies. It's just a great show that ties together a lot of really important Christmas themes, that similar things that you find in like, Freddy Krueger Christmas kind of things, like stuff that has a little more spiritual nature, but it also has some really good comedy.
Sorry, wait. Elements. Hold on. Did you just say the Freddy Krueger Christmas?
Did I say that?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, what? You mean Mr.
The Freddy Krueger Christmas Special? It's amazing. No, it just has some good heartfelt elements and a lot of good things about life and service and love and charity and all those things. And it just ties all that together in a really good Christmas theme. And it's all full of Alf humor. Now, to just say, first of all, or not say, I want to ask Molly, first of all. Molly had never seen Alf before, am I right? I had her family watch the pilot, so she had context about who these characters were. And then another episode, just so she had a little feel for it. And then I had them watch the Alf Christmas Special. And what did you think of Alf, first of all? Just the character in the show. He's funny. Okay. Now, this is the girl that last week I tried to force to watch the Muppets, and she couldn't even stay in the room.
I left
I watched my uncle make apple pie.
Which was more exciting than Jason Segel playing with Muppets.
Very much more.
Amazing music and all that fun stuff. She was out. She was done.
Wait, which Muppets show did you show her?
I had her watch the Jason Segel one, the one that came out, I don't know, 10 years ago.
You don't want to. No. You gotta show like the Great Muppet Caper, or the Muppet Christmas Carol. Those are good ones.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
You've seen it?
Wait, what?
Yes. It's creepy and weird.
It is creepy and weird,
All
but that's
Muppets are
the
creepy and
charm. She doesn't like the Muppets, like the characters, the creatures. She thinks they're weird.
They are.
And I asked her if she likes Yoda. Do you like Yoda?
Yes.
Yeah, I told her Yoda is a Muppet.
I know.
Literally, in every sense of it, it's a Muppet.
Have you ever watched Fraggle Rock?
What's that, Josh?
Have you ever watched Fraggle Rock?
I don't even know what Fraggle Rock is, Dan.
Nope.
No.
I haven't gotten that far in her education.
In my education.
So, it's just funny. In my top 7 list, if I remember, there were 2 not Fraggle. There were
2 Muppet movies. Out of all the Christmas movies in the world, 2 Muppet movies. That's just a waste of his top 7.
my slots.
That's
So
a waste.
she did watch our conversation in preparation for this. Ashley approves your synopsis of my list. So anyway, so you like Alf, hate the Muppets. That's fine. They are different. They're totally different. Alf is a puppet / person in costume versus the Muppets, which are little lifeless animations. I get it. Not animations, but marionette puppeteering weird things. All right. So what did you think of the Christmas special? Okay, that's a plus.
You liked it?
I hate the Muppets Christmas stuff. What did you like about it? What kind of stuff? Was it funny?
Yes.
Did you cry?
Not at all.
No. Did I?
Did you cry?
Like the whole time.
Yeah.
Everyone kept looking. I watched with my family and her family. Everyone kept looking over at me when they knew I was crying, and I was just streaming down the whole time. And I think they were more interested in my reaction to the show than the actual show itself.
I think we were.
I think everyone is more interested in your reaction to the show than the show itself.
Yeah, seriously.
It kills me every single time. Yeah. So I understand you didn't cry.
And just so you know, Molly, Tim is the only person on the planet who has cried at the Alf Christmas Special.
All right, so not true, because I always tell this story. When I was training at a bank, and I think did I talk about this in our episode?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
The whole class was trying to fight back their tears because they wanted to make fun of me, but I kept looking out at them and I was like, you see, and they were all misty-eyed at the same scenes that they kept looking at me while I was facing away from the screen, just in tears. But anyway, all right, so you liked it, just fun, good Christmassy stuff. Did you learn anything about Santa Claus?
Not really.
All right. All right. Okay. So let's have a discussion. I just want to know what you guys thought, and then I'll point out if it doesn't come out from your guys' feedback, just of a couple of my favorite things about it. But what did you guys think? All
right. So
you want to start, Josh?
So I do. Okay. So here's the thing. I think the problem was.
Yeah, you watched it in 2 parts, from what I understand.
I did. I watched it in 2 parts. That was the
destroyed the illusion, the feel.
There are 2 parts. There's a part 1 and a part 2. There's a part 1 and a part 2. The entire America watched it in 2 parts when it aired the first time.
I watched it on a recording I had from TV, and it was the entire thing all cut together. So when I watched it on television.
Well, good for you, Tim. I'm saying the rest of the America, when they watched it live, true Alf fans watched it live, and they watched it.
I'm talking about, I recorded it from television.
Okay. Anyway.
And then what's funny about that is that when it was over, all the kids in the room were like, "Wait, that's it?" I'm like, "Yes, that's it. Wasn't that enough?" And they're like, "Oh, I was waiting for it to be better or there to be more." And I was like, "What's wrong with you people?"
So here's the problem, Tim. You claimed it was a Mount Rushmore type situation. So I was going in with big expectations. And no, it did not come anywhere near the expectations that you set. I was severely let down by how uninspired I was at the end. Here's what I would say. It was better than I expected it to be. Not nearly as good as you made it sound. And it was basically just like, I mean, I think it was less humorous than normal Alf shows, but I think the reason it was less, it should have been less humorous because they were dealing with like real issues like kid with cancer and things like that, you know, like, so I mean, those aren't funny things. So of course it has to naturally be less comedic.
I thought it was really good at, and I laughed out loud quite a bit, didn't I? But I love Alf anyway. But I also love Fraggle Rock and the Muppets, so whatever. I thought it was a really good balance of like having the humor thrown in, even in the same scenes as some of those really intense moments and those more serious issues that they were talking about and situations. But it didn't I don't know what the word is, like it didn't counter the emotions that you were feeling when there was like heavy weight with serious things going on. The humor didn't like just undo that. Not like inappropriate humor in other movies that I want to talk or get examples of. But sometimes you throw a lot of humor in there and it just completely ruins an important or a serious scene going on. Kind of like Thor Ragnarok. It was my entire problem with Thor Ragnarok was he couldn't carry a tone. It was just all over the place, really serious and then really dark and then hilarious. This did a really good job of balancing that. Don't you think, Molly?
Yeah.
Okay, continue, Josh.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much. I didn't find it particularly memorable. Like, I mean, I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah, it's a Christmas special. And yeah, it was decent. But I didn't find anything particularly outstanding about it. Like after watching it, and again, I mean, I like watching Alf, but I don't own it. I don't make a point of watching it all the time. But I didn't like, it wouldn't have made my top 7 TV episodes. No, it was fine. I didn't hate it. It's not like I didn't like it. It was good. Yeah, it was fine, but I don't think it was
way too high expectations that you thought you were going to be bawling and laughing uncontrollably or something. But I
kept looking for this supposed Mount Rushmore moment that I have no idea what your moment would be.
You don't know what it was? Ashley, what did you think?
Of the whole thing, or of what I think the moment was?
Well, what did you think, and then what did you think the moment was?
Okay, my honest opinion is that that's 46 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. I'm a little upset.
Why don't you even do this show with you guys? Molly, you're my new host. At least you nodded your head. It was fine.
Like Tim. So you totally trashed on Family Stone because it was predictable. Hello.
Well, an Alf episode can be predictable.
Okay. Because it's a Christmas special. The whole reason why I don't like Christmas specials is they're just dumb. Anyway, so
you're the wrong person to ask, clearly.
What was the whole point of him, the birth in the elevator? That had nothing to do with anything at all.
Have you ever heard the song Lightning Crashes?
No, I love that song. I get it, but it had nothing to do with Christmas. No, because in Lightning Crashes, the death and the birth happened at the same time. Tiffany didn't die.
So if Tiffany died that time, then it would work? It's the same concept.
It would go with the song if you're going to bring up the song. You can't bring up the song if it doesn't actually correlate.
Hold on. Alf was in the 80s, and live didn't become a thing until the 90s, so that doesn't
I'm not saying that's exactly what it was supposed to be. I'm just saying that's a concept. It's the circle of life thing. When something dies, something else is born. And it just symbolizes. They weren't going to show the girl like dying.
The girl hadn't even died yet. She's still alive.
No, but if you look at the beginning of the credits, the credits, it was dedicated to a girl named Tiffany that did die at 8 years old.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Is that where you cry?
No, that's really special.
Maybe we should talk about all the places where Tim didn't cry. It'd be a shorter list.
I could do a top 7 emotional moments in the Alf Christmas Special, but I'm not gonna sit there and break it down right now.
No, it's not.
But what do you think was the moment then, Ashley?
Dude, I don't even know, Tim. I was watching and I was like, okay, maybe he cries at the bridge scene, but I was like, no, he hates It's a Wonderful Life. So like here, why wouldn't he like it in that movie? And it's like, well, it is Tim. He doesn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe that's what it's all about. Or I don't know. I'm still so lost. And
it's gonna be, you know what, Ashley? Let's just hear it. It's gonna be something silly. He's gonna be like, it's when they give the man the note back and say they're not gonna take the cabin or something totally benign. He's gonna be like, it's the point where Alf starts crying. That's when I start crying because Alf starts crying.
One more thing. You were all upset thinking that like you can't build like this connection within a few hours. Alf was with that girl for less time and she said, I love you, Alf. And he said, I love you too, Tiffany. And it's like, you don't know each other. You fed him a couple cookies. So like, how does that work? But real life humans, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I understand that you don't just like tell someone you don't love them, especially if you know they're dying. Maybe like that's what it was, but then that's not sincere, and then it makes you shallow. It's like, dude, I don't even know.
But aliens can build connections so much quicker. That's what it is.
Right. Oh.
Because he's an alien, and also it doesn't matter that 3/4 of their connection was built on him pretending to be a stuffed animal. So.
All right, are you guys done?
No.
Molly, you said this one, you want me to get?
Molly's like, they raise good points.
Like, I could find one or I could help Tim out, throw him a lifeline. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens.
She's like, they raise interesting points, Tim.
Just like, yeah. All right. Here, let's just say this. First of all, there's a difference between falling in love and having a big thing where you're gonna throw away your engagement, like in the Family Stone, and then suddenly like be like, hey, what are you doing for New Year's with the person's sister? And within like 12 hours, versus this one where he just met a little girl, and you have to put into context that Alf doesn't have a lot of interaction with other people. When you watch the show, you know, they'll have like guest stars and people in cameos and things where he'll interact with people, but very few people does he actually meet and get to know, and he's very limited in his exposure to the human race. And he's a very social guy, so when he meets someone, he's also kind of desensitized to a lot of stuff, where like the whole point of the opening was like he doesn't understand Christmas, he doesn't understand the sentimentality of things, traditions and all that in the culture, where he's like unwrapping presents and all that stuff, getting the songs and everything right. He just doesn't get it. So when he meets Tiffany, she has such childlike innocence and love for Christmas and the spirit and everything, where she had that, where she like it wasn't about presents and all that stuff, where she even accepted him where he was being, you know, handed out to the kids. No one wanted him, and she's like, I think she's beautiful, all that stuff. He inside was starting to feel like there's a little bit of acceptance here that he doesn't normally get, right, Molly? Right. So, I mean, all those things kind of add up where you can have a very quickly developed interaction and then relationship with this little girl, where the I love you moment wasn't until after he found out that she was dying. Now, you got to remember, Alf is a character that his entire human race, his entire Alfian race on Melmac, they were all gone. And when you watch the pilot and then a few of the other episodes, there are certain ones where he almost makes contact. He almost gets picked up by his friends, and he has his girlfriend Rhonda or whatever, I can't remember her name, where he is so close to being with his people that he's so disconnected from everyone. So when he meets this little girl and then she starts going into this story where she's also going to be going on to another world, he can relate with her. He can understand that. And that's how he like started breaking down with her and he starts connecting on an emotional level that he's never had with anyone else before. So I'm saying, so when he's seeing that, and then he has to say goodbye because he has to go back to his family, to go back to the Tanners. When she says, "I love you," he's like, "You know what? I do love you." There's something very special about that connection.
Well, thank you for the mental gymnastics that you just played.
Wow. That's that part. That's not where I cried, though. That's a very good part. Did you have something, Ashley?
Why don't you tell us where you cried in 500 words or less?
Like 4 or 5 times I literally had tears. I mean, I well up a lot. But the main part in the Mount Rushmore moment is when Mr. Foley, you got to think about Mr. Foley, when Mr. Foley has spent clearly where he's had this relationship with the Tanners, and I mean, not a lot of time with the Tanners. Don't worry, we'll get to your list in a second. This will be a 2-part.
Molly, welcome to the team. This is what we do. We just all kind of sit here, let Tim rant. Everybody complains. Nothing changes. It just, come on, let's hear it. So Foley.
Anyway, Mr. Foley has had his life of service. He's a handyman at the hospital. He dresses up and does the donations. He fixes the toys and takes them and gives them to the children. All that stuff, where even years ago when Willie was a kid, he brought his family in from being homeless and everything, and took them up to have the Christmas up in the cabin and everything, and with him and his wife, and they had a really long life of service and love and charity and all that stuff, where he had the full spirit of Christmas. But as soon as his wife died a couple of weeks ago, he was done with it all. He was ready to end his life because he felt that his joy was gone, so there's no reason to live. So he's going to pass on the things that he's done for other people with the cabin and the donation to the hospital, all that stuff, giving all that stuff away because nothing mattered to him anymore. So when he is sitting there and he's talking to the doctor, and the doctor is talking to him about Tiffany, as soon as he she says the thing where she doesn't know if Santa Claus is real or whatever, and the kids, or she asks the doctor, and then he hands her the "Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus" letter. When he reads that article, just that portion of it, there's the part at the end of that. It's not just the answer to the question about Santa Claus, it's the end of that where it talks about if there wasn't a Santa Claus, it'd be, I mean, all light and happiness or whatever would be extinguished. It'd be like if there was no Virginias. Mr. Foley understood that what he was saying and reading the expression on the doctor was that Tiffany was dying, and her light in the world, which is bright in this episode, was going to be extinguished. And he looks up and he stops reading it and he says, "Tiffany," and then when the doctor says, "What do you tell a girl that's never going to see another Christmas?" I don't know how you can watch that with the music swell and everything that happens right there without like your heart just like bursting out of your chest. And then he goes, and then it cuts to Alf responding to that, where he was just having a fun conversation with a little girl that was dressing him up in girl clothes and stuff like that. When he goes back and interacts with her, guess what? He has a new level of understanding what's happening with her. And then she describes how she's going to be going to another world, and he understands what it all means, where she's going to be yet another friend of his out of the very few that he's allowed to interact with who's going to die. There's so much there. It's not just some stupid Alf thing. It's just so full of a lot of important adult and mature themes. Right, Molly? You understand adult and mature themes.
But I did not get that big Mount Rushmore moment at all. That didn't strike me as the big Mount Rushmore moment.
Oh,
but
I just cry at that part. And then it comes back to it at the end as if to say this is the epilogue. It shows, when the Tanners come in and visit Tiffany, Brian hands her the present. And Brian's not like, it's not like, they're going to like become friends and stuff and hang out all the time. We don't know. It doesn't go on with that story. But just Brian giving her presents saying, "These are for you." And then Lynn hands her the picture and says, "You should go ahead and look outside." And then she looks outside, and then there's Alf. Still, that distance, he can't even go in and see her. All he does is just look at her from the car. And there's still that disconnect where he can't be with her. He can't have a friend. She can't have the one friend that really understood her. There's still distance and cut off by the 2-story distance to the car in the street where he's still trapped. Her only best friend, can't even come and visit her. And so that disconnect, and then it reads the Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus thing again. And then that cuts off and goes right to the credits where there was a girl named Tiffany who died. Oh, so good.
So
I read too much into things. What? I said I read too much into things.
Yes. So that article, Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, is beautiful. I totally understand where you're coming from there. That article is beautiful. I'm glad you were
incorporated in many Christmas stories at all. I've never heard of it outside of the Alf Christmas Special.
Are you serious? It's massively popular.
No, I'm saying in movies. I'm saying in cinema and film.
They made a whole movie based on the article.
Yeah.
What movie?
It's a movie.
It's called Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus.
I didn't see it. I don't watch lame Hallmark movies.
Oh yeah, you reserve your time for the Alf Christmas Special.
Anyway,
harmonica.
Anyone who can sit through the Alf Christmas Special, including you, and don't like have the heart swells and the tears like building up. I don't know what to say. You just don't get it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's like over your head. I'm just saying there's something not connecting. Just like how I felt nothing about the Family Stone. But outside of our Facebook posts, I had like 4 or 5 people separately, without talking about our video, mention the Family Stone. I'm like, I don't get it. I just didn't get it. I had the same conversation like 3 times about how I don't understand everyone's love for that movie. Did you like that movie? Did you see that movie? I don't think you saw it.
Never even heard of it.
Okay, good.
So you, okay, not quite change of subject, but a little bit. So you might like J.R.R. Tolkien's book, Letters from Father Christmas.
Okay, I'll research.
You should look into that. I think you would like it. It's really nice. Anyway, sorry.
All right, those are the heart swells. Those are the important things that I wanted to mention. There's really great stuff with Dr. Floyd. There's great stuff about the speech that Alf does give on the bridge, without going too much into it. There's some really important stuff there, and I like how he reconnects the service aspect of who Santa Claus is and who Mr. Foley has been his whole life. And one thing I never noticed is that whole thing about delegation that he's talking about. He says, I can't do it. It's a big job. I need good people like you. That helps the audience sit there and think about, well, what am I doing to contribute to that in the Christmas spirit all year round as being a good person? Because Mr. Foley does stuff all the time, not just at Christmas. And then the next thing is when he's fixing Tiffany's bed, when he's asking her for the pliers or whatever, and I never noticed this, he mentions something about delegation. He's still thinking about what Alf said the night before. So good. So good. Anyway.
So Warner Brothers. Let's move on.
I love it. I fully 100% stand by my love and assessment of Alf, and I could talk about it for a long time. It's so good.
I can tell. So
I want to hear the top 7 list.
Yes, let's hear the top 7 list.
Okay. After Alf, let's take Alf out of your list.
And remember that you can't say the top 1 until you give us your honorable mentions after number 2.
If you have them.
If you have them.
I do.
Okay.
She has homework. And I won't look at her sheet. I won't look.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 7. Start at the bottom and tell us what you got. And these guys will rip on it because they don't have feelings for anything good.
For most of them, I just nodded and went along with it.
That's what they do every time I start talking about Star Wars.
You have any Rian Johnson movies on your list? Really
Favorite Christmas movie, Knives Out. All right, hit us. Number 7.
Actually, I totally agree with you on number 7. The original Grinch, like the 15-minute one, the first one, and the newest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
High 5, girl. Yes.
Over
Yes.
the Jim Carrey one? Am I taking crazy pills? What is going on?
I hate it.
Jim Carrey one? How?
It just
have feels.
Any more reason than that from a child about why it's good?
It does. That's why.
Did you have great appreciation for the craft that went into the creation of Whoville and all the costumes and the hair design?
In the Jim Carrey one?
There you go.
But no,
Like the most appealing thing, like who cares?
she's like zero redeeming value.
But the new cartoon, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one's really good.
It is so good. Yes.
Interesting.
I never watched it because of multiple people complaining about it, including you, Josh. Your lack of a recommendation is why I never even bothered. But it was in tune with everything else. Any other critics I were listening that I respect and appreciate and follow, they all said the same thing. It was like written like it was for like 5-year-olds.
It was great. It was wonderful.
All right.
Well, fair enough. All right. What do you got?
We said what we needed to say last time, so.
All right, let's hear your number 6.
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Good one. The original Home Alone or part 2?
Not 3.
I've never seen 3.
Yeah, no.
Don't bother. Very
Number,
nice.
what do you love about it?
I think that was on all of our lists, wasn't it? Did we all put Home Alone on our lists?
It was an honorable mention of mine.
You had to have room for the holiday stone or family crest or whatever it was. All right.
Go ahead, never mind. We're not going there, Tim.
What do you love about
Christmas Special? Tim, you have no say in anything ever again. Okay, continue on.
Ashley, I really do think that even better than Alf Christmas Special is the Alvin and the Chipmunks harmonica debacle on his list of favorite TV specials.
You want me to talk more about that?
No.
No.
What do you like about Home Alone, Molly?
Yeah, hit us.
Yes, keep going.
The whole movie, but my favorite scene, it's the one when the robbers come.
Oh,
And, yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah.
My brother always hated that movie. And then like 2 years ago, we got him to finally rewatch it, and he's like, that wasn't so bad. And he was laughing during the whole thing.
Sounds like when I get Josh to watch something.
So, no, I end up watching it, and then I'm like, oh boy. No, okay. So here's a question for you, Molly, because I think Tim would agree with me on this, that the Home Alone original movie as a whole was better, but the scene where the robbers come in part 2 is funnier than the first one. Do you think that the part where the robbers come in the first one is better than the robbers come in the second one?
I haven't seen the second one in like 5 years, so
that's like half your life.
No.
It's time for a revisit.
Yeah, you got to revisit that one.
It's good.
Yeah.
Home Alone 1 is strong. And
Yeah.
I think the gags and the traps and everything he sets in the first one really work well with the comedic tone. And it doesn't take away from the emotional stuff that happens right before and right after that scene.
Right.
But everyone talks about how unrealistic those movies are, but it's like their reactions, like you on the front, you on the side, and we meet in the middle and stuff, and their threats really work out. And this isn't my review of the movie, but I think that's what makes that all come together and work, that it's not so outlandish like some of the stuff that does happen in the second one, that it feels a little off brand, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Do you cry at the end?
No.
Me either. I don't cry.
I saw your review.
All right. And
All right,
Carol
Molly.
DeVille's best montage song ever. That beats Eye of the Tiger out of the water, or blows out of the water, Josh. Gotta say
Which
that.
one? Which one?
Carol the Bells, when he's setting up the traps. That's the best music for a montage ever.
That's pretty good, yeah.
It was good.
So what's your number 5, Molly?
The Santa Claus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good one.
I was like this close to putting that on my list ahead of Rudolph.
I was saying none of us had it, right?
No, I put it as an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
What do you
Yeah.
love about
Stuff.
it? Tim Allen stuff?
It's
The
good.
characters? The jokes?
Yeah. Yes. I love the North Pole, like the way they did Santa's workshop and stuff. That's
Yeah.
really cool. And
I also
I was real quick. One thing I noticed because I mentioned we saw it in the theater, and Molly's family was there with us. One thing I noticed that I want to go back and see, and Josh, you probably have a big enough TV you can find it. Is the scene when they first get to the North Pole? It kind of pans around that room where the reindeer they like beam into, because it's weird. They like run off when they're on the surface, and then they beam into their like a transport from Star Trek into their what are they called, canals? Not canals. What is it called? Their little cage, whatever that thing's called. I'm from Colville. I can talk about farms and stuff, but they have like posters and like pictures and stuff hanging up on their walls, and I'm wondering how detailed they were in personalizing those with the different characters. So Josh, your homework is to check out that scene and tell me what you can see on the wall, because I thought that was really intriguing, and I never noticed it till it was on the big screen. But I agree, I love the North Pole in that movie. And that's why I was disappointed in the sequel movies, because it didn't feel like they went to the same place at all. They completely.
Let me write down this homework that Tim's giving me again, because it's always worked out so well in my favor for me to read the
Amy, what else is that? Stalls.
Like, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, okay.
So do you also like the sequels? The Santa Claus sequels? Yeah. I like them too. I like the third one a lot, actually, when Martin Short is in it with.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, really? Oh, it's good.
Sunday with my sister.
What's that?
The third one?
Yeah, the third
Who
one.
is he? The ice guy. Who is it? Who's
Jack
he play?
Frost.
Jack Frost.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good one. It's fun.
Is the North Pole in the third one more like the second one, or does it go back to the way it was in the first one?
More like the second one.
That's a letdown.
So.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Anything else you like about it? You want to talk about? You want to talk about divorce or anything else that's really exciting in that movie? No? Custody schedules. All right. Moving on.
Merry Christmas. Okay.
But you don't cry in that one either?
No.
Most of us don't cry at movies, Tim.
I've cried in every one of her movies so far. Even the Grinch, but no, the good Grinch, not that nonsense. Okay, go ahead. Next one. Four?
Yes, 4.
Okay, thank you.
White Christmas.
White Christmas. Nailed it.
Ah.
Well, that's a very mature choice for you, Molly. So what do you love about that?
It really is.
I like all the music, and I like the actors and actresses. I like the storyline.
Do you cry when the general comes in?
No.
All right. I might put together a whole different type of a top 7 list going on here.
You really can't argue with a classic like White Christmas. That's a good
I
one.
love White Christmas.
How old were you when you first watched it? Do you remember?
I was like, I don't know, I was like 4 or 5.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you liked it back then? Or did you like learn to watch it because
No,
your parents
I always-
watched it and you were exposed to it and you decided later on that it's just part of Christmas?
Well, like the first time I saw it, like I liked it, and then I watched it the next year, and then I really liked it. Now I love it.
Ashley, how old were you when you first watched it?
I was young. I was raised on all of the classics and things like that, so it was part of. Yeah, like it was always been there. I always remember having it there, so I don't know when I first saw it.
Josh, what about you? I'm just curious.
I don't even remember the first time. I think it might have even been like middle school to high school. It was a long time. And then I went and saw the play. I did that. And the play is where I really kind of fell in love with the story. They had a really good tap dancing sequence in the play that was really impressive. And it was a lot of fun. At the end, everyone sang White Christmas. And the whole crowd and everything.
I saw about the same time frame. I remember watching something when I was like 13 or 12 or something like that. And after whatever I was watching was over, White Christmas came on. It was like 11:30 at night. And I just kept watching it because I was like intrigued. Whoa, what's going to happen next? The scene where they're catching the train and all that stuff. And I was so intrigued in these characters, and I liked the story, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And I just like fell in love with it right there from the beginning. And my mom watched when I was little, like you're talking about, and you're talking about. So I knew the music was a little familiar, like the Haynes sisters sequences, and where they come out and sing. I was like, that was familiar to me. but I never watched the movie, and I loved it. But I was like a little older when I did. So that's pretty cool that you like the characters and all that stuff. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That should be your number one. You should.
So that's your number. So that's your number 4. Is that what that is? All right. So we're coming to top 3 now. This is where it gets serious.
Did it take you? Were you struggling with this list like all of us were?
No.
Like, I got this.
I put down my favorite movies and then arranged them in order.
So Star Wars is gonna be number 1. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the Cranks. That's interesting.
Have you ever seen it?
It's cute. I've only seen it once.
Tim doesn't like it?
I've never
He's
seen
never
it.
seen it.
Didn't we talk about? Wasn't that on your list, Ashley, or no?
No, I completely forgot about it. It's a cute one.
I love Christmas with the Cranks.
It's funny.
It's
Yeah.
on my. It's in my collection of Christmas movies. It doesn't make my top 7, but it's a good one. I like watching it.
And that's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Is it that one?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim. I think Tim Allen, right? Is in that one too? Yeah. So.
'Cause it's funny. It's really
That's
funny.
I didn't like. There was an era where I didn't like post 2000 Christmas movies. I was like, these aren't like classics, so I was like, why bother? I had that kind of feeling about it, and that's why Elf didn't break the list. I told you, it's like it doesn't feel like a good Christmas.
I gotta disagree completely because I went and saw it in the theater when it came out, and within 5 minutes, I was like, I know this is gonna be a classic. Like within 5 minutes of the movie starting. When Bob Newhart goes on there and starts talking about the elves and the Keebler elves and all these different things and all that, I was like, this is going to be a classic that I watch every day.
Amazing.
Have you seen Elf?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say about Christmas with Cranks? I have nothing to contribute, so you have the whole floor to yourself.
I love it.
Okay.
I've been watching it since I was little, since I was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting because it's interesting how you'll find, Molly, as some of us are a little bit more elderly than you, that those movies that you watch when you're a kid, that they're going to carry with you, and you're going to have kids and you're going to try to show it to them, and they're going to have no idea why you like it so much. You're going to shove it down their throats anyway, and then they're going to be sick of it, and then hopefully they carry it on to their kids because you shoved it down their throats. That's at least my plan with Christmas Vacation.
Plan. So that's what I wanted to know about the White Christmas being, like how you were exposed to it. I think that's intriguing because I've met people older than me, much older than me, like my friends' parents who had never seen it before, and they were very, very in touch with classic Hollywood like that. And I was like, how have you never seen it? But anyway. Okay.
There's parts in Christmas with the Cranks when you will cry.
That I'll cry.
When we watch it with you, you will cry.
Oh, you're gonna make me watch it?
Yes. I will very much make you watch it.
So her family made me watch Christmas in Connecticut.
Tim has homework.
Oh, that's a good one. Wait, did you watch the classic Christmas in Connecticut or the new one with the classic? Okay.
The one in black and white.
I don't watch remakes. But let's let her finish her list, and then we'll talk about
You
that.
don't watch remakes? Footloose? Karate Kid?
Well, okay, I don't watch remakes of things that I'm not super. I guess that's hypocritical. I have nothing to say. I've been disappointed in every remake of a Christmas classic that even if I was a big fan of, what's it called? Christmas in Connecticut.
Yes.
Then I wouldn't want to watch a remake. Same reason I've never seen a remake of Annie or any of those. If it's something that's really special and classic to me, not like Karate Kid or Footloose, those are different types of, that's a personal thing, not a personal fandom thing, not this is a Hollywood classic movie. But Karate Kid, whatever. I'm digging myself a hole.
Both of those are Hollywood classics. Anyway, so wait, did you say Christmas in Connecticut is your number 2?
No, she didn't. We haven't.
He just started mentioning it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
If you give me homework, and I did watch that, but I'll hold my, because I don't know, in case it's on our list, but whatever. Okay.
Way to Bogart Molly's list, too.
Molly.
Way to Bogart Molly's list, Tim. Anyway.
Yeah. Really quick, Molly, if you really like White Christmas, you should look into the movie called It Happened on Fifth Avenue. It's a Christmas movie. It's a classic, and it's cute. I think you'd like it.
Never heard of it.
And then after you watch that, you should watch A Muppet Family Christmas.
No, never going to happen.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Number
Keep
two.
going.
Okay, so number 2, I mentioned this movie to Tim a lot, and he won't watch it. But it's number 2. Okay, so it's a Netflix original. It's called The Princess Switched Again, the second one. I actually like it more than the first one.
The Princess Switched Again?
No, The Princess Switched Again.
Is this a sequel?
Yes.
So there's a Princess Switch, and the sequel is Princess Switch: Switched Again. Something like that.
Did they just announce that they made a third one?
No, they announced that they made a second one.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen either of them. But that's a Christmas movie? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Is this a Christmas movie?
Like little kids are really loud, and they are up to their antics, and really crazy things happen, and they'll end up like covered in like chocolate from some stupid explosion in the kitchen or some dumb things like that. Is it one of those kind of movies?
Wait, is this a Christmas movie like Die Hard, or is it a Christmas movie for real?
What happened during Christmas?
Yes.
She can't read it. No spoilers. Don't tell us what happens at Christmas.
It happens at Christmas, and it's a Christmas movie.
So it's a Christmas-themed movie with Christmassy things happening, right?
Yes.
Is it integral to the story that it happens at Christmas?
Will you stop?
Yes.
We know what you're doing.
I want to make sure that we got a proper list here, okay?
He's a jerk.
All right.
It could sound like Die Hard, like we would have picked, and he doesn't qualify. He's a lawyer, and he thinks he can trick us. He loses every time.
I win every time.
All right. So before number 1, what are your number? Well, what do you like about? You didn't mention. What do you love about it? Just a fun movie? Did you cry?
No.
Do you cry at anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever
Whenever
seen,
I come in.
Have you ever seen The Art of Racing in the Rain?
Yes.
It's like the saddest movie ever.
Yeah.
Then
I cried like during the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty sad movie.
It is.
It's in the same vein as like what's that movie about the dog that like keeps coming back to life and ends up back with his owner? What's the name of that movie? Yeah, something like that. Like one of those types of movies.
I don't watch dog movies because of that. It's all about 2 things: either a dog or an animal. It gets kidnapped or it dies. I don't watch any of those anymore. I learned my lesson when I was like 10. No more.
What about Air Bud?
No, I never even tried those. But even like Beethoven and stuff, even like Beethoven is like dog gets kidnapped or a dog dies. Anyway, Benji, Lassie, all those, same story. Anyway.
Turner and Hooch is amazing.
That
Which
is
one?
true. Turner and Hooch is amazing. Yeah.
Yes, and now that you mention that, I'm remembering what happens. And it's a fun Tom Hanks movie. I never went back and rewatched that though. That's not a regular favorite of mine. Anyway, okay.
Back to Molly's list.
Back to your list. Okay, so that was 2. What was it again? The Princess Diaries or
The Princess Switched Again, Part 2.
So it's just that you love it.
It's really funny.
Is it a musical? No. Is it? So it's a comedy.
Yeah, and it's
Christmassy.
also it's Christmas, and it's romance.
Do romances get rich like
A
that?
romantic comedy Christmas movie.
Novel like Die Hard. All right. Okay. Anything else you want to say about it? Because we've never seen it. Maybe we all have a homework assignment.
Watch it.
Is it Vanessa? Who's the actress?
Who's in?
Vanessa Hudgens. She's the star.
Okay.
Okay. What are your runners up before you give us your number 1?
Christmas in Connecticut.
Okay. Can we?
Don't. I know what you're gonna say. Even though it was at Christmas time, it's not a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie. You guys have seen it, right?
But Die Hard is. Yeah.
There's
a movie with Christmas in the name, and you're like, no, it's not a Christmas movie. But Die Hard's a Christmas movie for sure.
There are more Christmas themes in Die Hard than in this movie. And I'm not just talking about scenery and backdrop. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, Christmas in Connecticut is absolutely a Christmas movie. It's adorable. What do you mean where? It's about
production of like a slapsticky miscommunication, like a Three's Company episode that happens to be at Christmas where there's a romance switch. Kind of like the Christmas.
The name of the movie is literally Christmas in Connecticut. It is.
If it was called Thanksgiving in Connecticut, they'd have the exact same script. Nothing in that movie has anything to do with Christmas, other than the title and say we're going to meet in Connecticut on Christmas. They could have been like the 4th of July in Connecticut. The entire script, same character, same set, same everything, exact same movie. Die Hard, you couldn't say that.
Wait a minute, was there snow in Christmas in Connecticut?
Yes.
Then it couldn't have been in the 4th of July.
I couldn't tell because it was black and white.
They literally said we're walking on snow.
All right.
Molly, you are going to love It Happened on Fifth Avenue. I'm just throwing it out there. It's totally cute. It's totally up your field. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Honorable mention.
But just be aware, Tim will hate it because everybody loves it, so Tim will hate it.
I don't think many people have actually heard of it, in all honesty. I only heard about it last year.
The name sounds familiar, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. It sounds familiar, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Do you have any
Hey,
other?
Ashley, if you remembered it, Ashley, would Connecticut have been on your list?
No, because I own it. I don't own the original. I own the remake with Chris Christopherson. And I like it a lot. Like I'll try and watch it, but I don't force myself to watch it every year before Christmas. So that's why
I liked it as a film, like as a classic black and white old Hollywood movie. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed some of the lines and the way they used to do lighting and stuff with black and white films is beautiful to watch. It's not like Casablanca level or anything, but it was cool to see. But other than that, I was like, it had nothing to do with Christmas. It was about cooking and that little love triangle. That's it. And the weird baby scenes that were kind of dated and creepy, if you ask me. But that's probably not in the remake, so you might have to.
Yeah, like the remake is directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's actually, I mean, it's the same storyline.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
I'm serious.
So he has something to relate to with the never mind, the babies. Anyway. Okay, fair enough.
You're not gonna like my next one.
Is this your runner-up or is this number 1?
No, this is still.
Your runner-ups?
Yes.
Okay. It is. I love it. I would love it.
No, you will not.
Okay.
The Disney Plus original Noel.
Yes! It's adorable! Yes!
Yes! See? He hates it.
Did you watch it, Josh?
That movie!
I watched about 5 minutes of it with my daughter, and then I realized that we were watching a Christmas movie before Thanksgiving, and I promptly left the room. So I was like, wait a minute.
So cute.
We were watching it, and I was like, this is a Christmas movie. And she's like, yeah.
How did you not know?
Huh?
How did you not know from the thumbnails that it was a Christmas movie?
Came in, she pressed play, and then I came in, and I was like, what are we watching? And she purposely didn't tell me it was a Christmas movie. So I sat down, and about 5 or 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is a Christmas movie, and I got up and left.
She's like, it's an Anna Kendrick biography or a biopic. You're like, okay.
But what I saw, it actually seemed pretty. I like Anna Kendrick a lot, so I probably.
I do too. I love it. Okay, Ashley, what were you gonna say before I say what I didn't like?
I'm just saying, like it's adorable, and it's like, so okay, so don't get me wrong, like Elf is definitely a whole other like caliber, and I love Elf, but like Noel seems like it fit the same kind of like modern Christmas movie that still has the feels, and you can still laugh and have the moments with it like you can with Elf. So like that, I appreciated Noel a lot, and I did forget about it. Otherwise, it would have been on my honorable mention because it's adorable.
The problem was it was Elf. It's the exact same.
No, it wasn't.
It's Elf. She got picked up or whatever. I'm trying to remember. I watched the whole thing. I was really bored. And if I don't cry, it's a failure of an emotional movie. They didn't tap into something if I didn't cry at it. And it was that whole thing was she's like trying to be the next Mrs. Claus. It was like a progressive push or something like that. And like, but the whole concept of her being that she was like full of this joy and Christmas whimsy and everything. And just like Will Ferrell, it's the exact same concept. They were just like, let's put a girl and they'll have this weird plot where Santa Claus was retiring to Florida or whatever it was. And I was like, what is happening? It's just so boring. It kind of felt a little Ernest Saves Christmassy as well. But anyway, didn't like it. And I love Anna Kendrick, but didn't like it.
I bet if they would have thrown a Muppet in there, Tim would have been all for it.
Not every Muppet Christmas movie is great. I will say that. But that's the thing. And that goes right on my thing. Like post 2000, other than Elf, which I still don't classify as a classic good Christmas movie, they're not there. But I bet your next one's gonna be way up there. I don't watch a lot of them because I get bored. Like Ashley watching the television and they try and do a Christmas show. I'm watching a movie post 2000. I'm like, you guys can't recreate these classics, and they try. It's the same theme, same story, same stuff, and I'm just like, I don't care. Anyway, I'm a bummer, huh? I'm a Scrooge of 2000s Netflix Christmas movies.
You're just bad at picking movies.
You're really bad at picking movies. And The Man Who Invented Christmas will give you the feels. Just saying.
I'm sure. That one, I am optimistic about that one because I have a lot of trust in the people that gave me the recommendation to watch it. So anyway, all right. Did you have anything else to say about the Sweet Noel stupid movie of her and stuff? Didn't she? That's a musical, right? Didn't she sing in that?
No, there's like this one little line. Okay. I wish she sang. That would have been so fun.
She's great. I do love her. I loved her since she was a background character in Twilight, and then she did those crappy Pitch Perfect movies. Anyway, so any other rounds?
Hey, Elf!
Hey, yay!
Good job.
Fine runner-up. I like Elf. I'm very entertained by Elf. Don't get me wrong. It's just not a great Christmas story in the third act.
Wait, is that your number one or is that your runner-up?
That's my runner-up. I'm still doing runner-up.
Oh, okay. Runner-up? Oh, I thought that was number one.
Yes.
Okay, what do you love about Elf?
It's funny.
Okay.
And
what's your favorite part? What's the funniest part? Is it the dwarf scene where he's like, when the dwarf comes in, he like stomps across the table and beats him up? Look at you!
I don't know.
You don't know? You want to know my favorite part? My favorite part is when he's singing with the girl in the shower, and then she's like, "Don't look at me!" That's the sound, like runs into the locker. That's the funniest moment. You can't not laugh. That's right up there with the brick throwing scene in Home Alone 2. But anyway, what do you love if you don't remember a funniest moment?
Stuff.
Just stuff.
Stuff.
She's very articulate tonight, as you can tell.
It's a very good movie. That's why.
It is very
good movie.
Great. Even the boring part at the end where they chased the Rangers that had no appearance and no setup the entire movie, but somehow it's supposed to be climactic.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah, it made perfect sense. It was fantastic. And don't let Tim. Yes, exactly. It made perfect sense.
I put them on the naughty list, and no one knows what the naughty list, because in this universe, no one even knows Santa Claus is real, but they're on the naughty list, and they've been mad at me ever since. That made sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
That's not forced in there at all.
It's not.
All right.
All right, Molly, give us the number one.
No.
Oh.
You got another honorable mention?
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yes. No.
No.
The Princess Switch, the first one.
Okay.
That one almost made it on my list, but I didn't.
Is that a Christmas one too?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
both Christmas.
So Josh, you need to watch that with your girls, wife included.
Okay. They might
And then
have
you
already.
report back.
They might have already watched it. I don't know.
Oh, one more. Actually, two more. It's a Wonderful Life.
The original.
Yay! All right. That's my number 6.
What do you like, the depressing scene, or the part where he gets beat up, or the?
He likes the whole
movie,
thing.
The depressing scene, the whole movie.
He likes the whole part that's just like One Magic Christmas, except better.
You know, that's the most successful thing you've ever lawyered me on is like, how can I like one Magic Christmas but hate the other one? You're right.
I just bought it. I'm gonna give myself another try. And just fast forward the one part. If I can just fast forward that one part, I think I'll like it.
Which part? I can't remember. Which part? Do you remember? You watched our discussion, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember
The
what part
where
someone
it's
gets
the
beat up?
part where he gets his ear beat and he starts bleeding out of his ear because his boss is drunk.
Does that bother you?
I've never seen it.
It's a Wonderful. You remember It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh, I thought you were talking about One Magic Christmas.
No.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a cry fest. Okay.
Anyway.
But you just love do you love the characters, all that stuff? Is that just have you watched that since you were really little, like Magic Christmas? I mean, it's a White Life or whatever.
No, I only saw it like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. You watched it 3 years ago for the first time, and it's up there on your list, huh? Well, in your honorable mentions.
Yes.
What's interesting?
Okay, my last honorable mention, Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn?
Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen
That's
it.
a good one. It's a good. You're gonna love It Happened on Fifth Avenue. Okay.
You and Ashley are like this, Molly.
It's because she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, I don't have a clue. I'm just crying through all my movies. I'm like missing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about Holiday Inn, real quick?
Tim's too busy blubbering over Jim Henson, looking over all of his Muppets.
It's touchy. It's so sweet. Oh, that gets me, and he's gone, Josh. You don't see that? He's gone to another world with Tiffany. Oh. Anyway, are you done? Are you done? She's red. She is bright red. You can't see in this terrible lighting in here, but oh my gosh.
Okay.
Now she can't breathe. I need a water in here. All right. You okay? Okay. Okay, while she composes herself, let me talk more about Alf. The scene where Willie is talking about his
no more
No, no more Alf. We are done.
Ugh.
It's had its time in the sun. It's now.
All right. What were we talking about before she died?
She got her number one.
Oh yeah.
Number one.
I'm not sure if any of you will have even heard of it.
Uh-oh, let's hear it.
Christmas Break-In.
Christmas Break-In. Where is it? Is that like a Netflix special?
No.
Okay.
It's not a
It's like-
special. I don't know who made it, but it's so good.
Tell us about it.
Oh,
Oh, you got Ashley's her excitement going.
I just looked it up. Okay. Sorry, go. Tell us about it. I know of this.
Have you seen it, though?
No.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
mom loves it.
It's so good. The Greatest Showman, one of the girls that plays his daughters, like the younger daughter with blonde hair, she's the star. It's so good. It's like, so there's this girl and she loves playing guitar. And she loves music and guitar. And there's one day of the year where there's a half-off sale of all the instruments at this instrument store, and she wants to get a guitar. And her parents, sometimes they forget to pick her up from school.
Sounds like Alvin's Christmas special with
And
the harmonica.
so, like, she draws 3 on their hands so that they'll remember to pick her up at 3 o'clock. They forget her, and they took her phone away at breakfast because she wasn't eating fast enough. And so she's at school alone after everyone's left, and the janitor's there, and he's like, well, you wait for your parents. It's cold and snowy out here. Do you want to wait inside? And so she's like, yeah. So she's waiting inside the school for her parents. The sales ended, so now she's just wasting time at the school. She's like, what am I doing? So she does some stuff, but then robbers come.
Oh, it's like Home Alone and Alvin. Good.
So they just robbed a bank, and a huge storm is coming, so they need somewhere to hide for the night. So they're like, oh, look, an abandoned school, Christmas break, winter break,
So
just
no one will be
started.
there.
No one will be there.
She starts laying the booby traps.
No.
Oh.
The cops won't be there. The cops will be too busy with all the accidents on the street, so they go to this abandoned school. And they're hiding there. Then the janitor comes back from wherever he went, and they find him and kidnap him.
The janitor?
Uh-huh. And so then the little girl finds out, and she's like, what do I do? So she has to get the janitor back, because the janitor is also her friend. And it's so funny.
Oh, it's a
So
comedy?
funny.
This would sound like it's fancy. I thought they were going to kidnap and take off with her.
No, it's so funny. You have to watch it. It's so funny. And
So this is a
Danny
newer movie.
Glover.
Yeah,
Danny
I-
Glover is the janitor.
I was
So
looking
you'll
up
know
and it
who
looks,
that is.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
so-
wait, who's the janitor?
Danny Glover.
Oh, okay.
so
And
it
then
looks
Denise
like,
Richards is the mom.
yeah,
But
it
he's
looks
killed the
like
predator before, so he should be able to take out these robbers just fine.
I love it. And it's so funny. Like, she, like, lures the robbers out, and then she traps one of them in a closet and then scares one of them so bad that he faints. It's so funny.
Do you think it's funnier than Home Alone?
Yes.
Funnier than Elf?
Yes.
Does it make you cry?
No, wow.
The
Funny
funniest
and humble. Is there any moments in it that are more iconic than the Alf Christmas Special? Just curious.
Does it belong on the Mount Rushmore of special holiday moments?
Anything that's gonna knock off Alf, or maybe White Christmas, or something else that is lesser than Alf? According to Tim.
Alf wasn't in my movie list, you jerk. That's like apples and other apples.
So, question: where can I find this movie? Is it streaming somewhere? Do you know?
on Netflix.
It is. Okay.
It's not a Netflix original, but they put it on Netflix this year.
Okay. So I'll have to check that one out.
I think we should all watch that one.
Yes, you should.
So, Molly, have you seen Christmas Chronicles and Christmas Chronicles 2?
Oh, yes! Those were also on my honorable mention.
She ran out of paper.
Yes, I did.
You did.
Wait, I haven't seen the second one yet. But I want to
Okay. So, did you get the feels for the first one? Because I feel the first one has the feels. I don't
Yeah.
think the second one has the feels, but it's awesome and I love it. But the first one definitely has the feels and made me almost cry.
Did you almost cry?
In the very, very end,
Yeah.
Which one?
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. The only movie that's made her
No,
cry.
and Charlie.
Oh,
Charlie.
Didn't cry, Charlie.
yeah. You didn't cry, Charlie?
I did not.
You watched
Because I had seen Charlie before. It was called A Walk to Remember.
All right. Did you cry in that?
Hey, you know what? Mandy Moore dying, that is a sad moment. Okay?
All right.
Especially back in 1999 or whenever that movie was.
All right. So we should be challenged to go watch that. What's it called? The
Christmas Break-In.
Christmas Break-In.
Great.
Breaking.
Oh, that's a pun on word or play on words because it's like Christmas break and it's a break in,
Uh-huh.
and then they break in to
Yeah.
where she's on her break.
Tim
All right.
just figured that out, guys.
Nailed it.
Yep.
I'm a plot follower
Yes. Okay,
and
wait,
a title
no.
follower.
The funniest scene, the best scene in that movie.
Yes.
So the robbers, there's
Marv and Harry.
there's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and then the girlfriend's cousin. They're all like, I don't know, they're like in their 30s, and okay, it's so funny. So the boyfriend, like, so they're trying to get into the school. So he throws a rock at the window, and it bounces off the window and hits him in the forehead. And he just falls on the snow. And then his girlfriend, she just walks over to the window and opens it up. And he's laying there unconscious. It's so funny.
That's good.
It
That
is.
reminds me. I'm trying to think. There's that gag sounds like something I've seen before, but I can't think what it is. But those are always fun. That's good.
It's so funny.
The whole thing is a comedy.
Christmas Break-In.
Cool. So the Christmas Break-In. Right?
Christmas Break-In.
Not
Got
school.
it.
Christmas Break-In. Molly's #1 all-time favorite Christmas movie.
Yep.
Just because it's funny? Or is it like a good special heart for you? Doesn't matter. It's just funny. Josh likes Elf. That one doesn't have any emotion to it.
What? I like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation strictly because it's hilarious. So that's my #1. That movie's
National
hilarious.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Yeah.
Did you? That's not on your list or honorable mentions. Wow. Then why? Because it doesn't make you cry.
I'm gonna have to unfriend your mom on Facebook.
All right. Well, anything else you want to share with us, Molly? Are you having a good Christmas season? You watch movies every single day? Should we talk about our favorite Full House episode? We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, let's say
Molly
that.
is a huge Full House addict. Oh, I mentioned it. I mentioned it last week on our TV specials. The Alf or the Full House Christmas special in the airport. Is it not fantastic?
It is.
See, got a mouth of two witnesses, and we should go watch that streaming on not Netflix.
Hulu.
Probably Hulu. Yeah.
Fuller House on Netflix, but not the original. All right. Well, thanks, Molly, for joining us and sharing with us your list and giving us apparently some things to watch and for validating some of the things that I feel about movies and for joining them and arguing the things that are most precious, like the Alf Christmas Special. Someday the world will understand and comprehend and have a heart. For now, Alf is once again pearls before swine with my co-host, and so I'm just gonna say everyone needs to just deal with it and let their hearts feel and connect with their tear ducts, cry, and let that emotion out. Let all that hatred out, Josh.
I'm just saying it was no Muppet Family Christmas. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't,
now that is a tough comparison.
it was no Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas Special.
Oh, it's better than that, for sure. All right. Anyway, thanks, Molly, for joining us. Thanks, Ashley and Josh, for helping me assess her list of her top 7 Christmas movies, not episodes. And we're going to watch Christmas Break-In, and we'll talk about it. I'll watch it this week.
And we're doubling up this week, and my co-hosts need to watch Over the Top.
Is it a Christmas movie?
It is not.
I'm waiting till after Christmas. After Christmas, I'll watch it.
A break for. Hey, I have a Hawk Hauling T-shirt on during a Christmas episode. It makes it a Christmas movie, according to Tim. So here we go. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tangentially about, yeah, there's a mention of Christmas in this episode while I'm wearing a Hawk Hauling T-shirt, so that counts as a Christmas movie. You can watch Over the Top. Tim, am I right? Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Over the Top might as well be one too.
You didn't mention
Die
you have
Hard
a red
is
wall
a
behind
Christmas
you.
movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you watched through this, thanks for your support of Molly joining us to talk about her favorite Christmas movies. Forget Over the Top. It's not important right now. We will come back to that on another episode. But until then, be safe and Merry Christmas. None of this Happy Holidays, politically correct stuff, but whatever. If you want a happy holidays to you. And that's it. That's all I got. So thanks for watching States on Spin. We'll catch you next time. Thanks again, Molly. Goodbye.
They certainly seem to be having a good time out there, Sprocket. Yeah, I like it when they have a good time. But I tell you what, somebody's got to do something about these dishes, Sprocket. Come on, I'll wash and you dry, okay?